All right, all right, all right. I was not going for Matthew McConaughey there. I realized as I said it, kind of sounded like it. But we're finally back. Just doing a quick Madden stream. It's been a while since we've done Madden, but we finally progressed in our franchise. So I thought I could do that, especially with football going. Even though, before we get into this game, I'll talk about a little football. My thoughts on pro football right now are pretty much fuck pro football because I'm a Broncos fan and the injuries have been historical. And we're going into week 3. So let's go over here for a minute. Before the season even started, you had Von Miller go out for the year. Well, potentially, but has since been confirmed out for the year. You had, let's see, can't remember his name. Another backup linebacker. So Von Miller, same position, go on injured reserve. So potentially season ending as well, but if not, at a minimum, a good chance of the season, a good portion of the season. So then we get close to week 1. Then we get the news that KJ Hamler will not be playing week 1. One of their rookie receivers and was thought to be their star punt and kick returner because that's something they haven't had for years. It was announced Cortland Sutton, another receiver, would not play week 1. He was their best receiver last year. This was his 3rd season, and a lot of people, not even Broncos fans, thought he could potentially be the best receiver in the NFL if he kept at this pace. So he would not play. Yeah, Mark Barron, another linebacker, not playing this game. And here's a starting linebacker. So that's 3 linebackers, 2 of them starting and 1 the best player on the team, not just defensive player, and arguably the best player in the entire league, especially for defense. Then you had multiple other backups out for this game. So then we go into this game, and it just gets worse from there. Obviously, we lose, but we also lose a tight end. We lose Austin Fort to injury reserve and isn't expected back till week 4. You lose AJ Bouye, your one of your biggest, if not your biggest, off-season signings or trades, but acquisitions, I should say, till at least week 6. And he's a cornerback, top cornerback they have. And then Philip Lindsay gets hurt. Your starting running back, and I believe the best running back on the team. And he's out for multiple weeks. Then I believe that's it for week 1, but that's already too many, especially since you had incredibly bad luck before the season could even start, losing potentially the best player in the league. But then we go week 2, and we get some good news. Cortland Sutton's coming back. He's going to play. He comes back. He's doing great. Cortland Sutton gets hurt. That's pretty dope. Then he comes back again. It's good news. Then Jared Jeudy gets hurt. Number 1 pick for us in the draft. Wide receiver was very promising in the first 2 games. Then he comes back, and Cortland Sutton gets hurt again out for the game. Then you have Drew Lock, our starting quarterback, and went 4-1 as a starter last year with, I believe, 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. looked very promising behind easily the worst offensive line in the league. I know some people argue that, but I don't think there's any real argument. I know there's some other bad ones, but there's nothing as bad as the Broncos. And him getting hurt was evidence of that. And he's out for a minimum of 3 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks, so that's pretty dope. But yeah, him getting hurt was all on the offensive line. A lot of times with rookies, they're staying there too long or they make dumb decisions. But as soon as he takes a snap, he's running for his life, which he does almost every snap. And that's why I said last week how worried I was about that. And this week it showed. So on what would be the right side of the line, 2 people immediately break through. He spins past them. And then what's waiting on the left side? Oh, just a massive fucking dude to destroy him and land on top of his shoulder. This is the Steelers. They like to take cheap shots. I hate the Steelers, but this was not on the Steelers at all. It was bad luck, but it was all on the Broncos' offensive line. There was nothing dirty about it, just fucking terrible on the Broncos' part. And then just make the situation better. You have Draymond Jones with injury reserve injury in this game. So out until week 7, so that's pretty cool. Draymond Jones out of Ohio State, defensive end, has outplayed what people thought he would, even me. Then KJ Hamler returned in this game. But wait for it. Tyree Cleveland, another rookie receiver that has looked promising and outplayed what people thought he would, including myself. He gets hurt. He's questionable for this week, so not as bad as the other ones. And then also in this game, you have Devontae Harris, another cornerback, which we're already low on, as we talked about with A.J. Bouye. He gets hurt and is questionable for next week. So, to summarize, fuck pro football right now. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm still rooting for the Broncos as much as ever. I'll still watch as many games as I can. If I was able to go to games, I could. I'll still wear all my gear. I'm not embarrassed at all. Just more pissed off because a couple things are definitely their fault. Not upgrading the offensive line was their biggest mistake. And they did do one big thing to improve. I can't remember who it was, but they signed a really good offensive lineman in the offseason, but then Broncos luck. He opted out of the season because of coronavirus. But you can't really use that as an excuse. That's more bad luck. But even if he played at his potential, one good offensive lineman is not going to fix the offensive line. It's not like a quarterback or a running back that can change the whole position. Even though obviously those rely on the offensive line, you can still, you're not in a position that has 5 players at the same time. So that is all on the Broncos. And a reason why for the past probably 4 seasons, I've kind of defended the Broncos quarterbacks, even Joe Flacco and some of these players, because I don't care if you fucking put Tom Brady, almost any quarterback behind this offensive line, they would struggle. When you're taking the ball and immediately running for your life, you're not going to be able to do anything. That's why I had more hope in Drew Lock than I thought I would last season, because the offensive line was the worst in the league, and he was still able to produce, which is extra impressive for a rookie, because veterans, like I talk about Tom Brady and stuff, they do have more experience with that and should be able to escape it a little better and know it, even though it's still going to not end well in the long run. But when you're a rookie and you're doing that, that's just even more impressive. But just one second, let me check something here. Stick with me. I see somebody's in here. Who's in here with me? We're just complaining about the injuries in football. Me being the Broncos because I'm a Broncos fan. Where is it? Where are you, dirty whore? Dirty whore doesn't get banned on here, does it? I'm trying to look up one thing about a Broncos season. Somebody made me second guess myself. So I've been trying to find it. Probably been smart to find it before I got in here, huh? Okay, that's what I thought. I knew I should trust myself. I'm a Broncos fan. What am I doing here? But anyways, that's what makes it most frustrating about this season so far is that I don't even know if the Broncos are bad, and I can't be like, yep, this season is a failure because the Broncos aren't good enough. The offensive line is definitely not good enough, but he was making it work at the end of last season with just as bad as offensive line, so he maybe could have again. Drew Lock, that is. But when you're playing without almost your entire starting team, it's hard to know if your team is really, or gauge your team fairly. And I know the argument's always that you can't blame injuries, which is true to a point. I don't think just because one player is out, you can go, well, that's why we lost, and we didn't expect to win. I think that's a little easier if it's like a star player, but even then, you should have some depth. But when we're talking about, let me get back to it here. Where is it? Where are you? Oh my god, what a stream, huh? I am just expert at this. Let me get to it again here. It's pretty crazy week 4 though, huh? All right, here we go. So, oh, there's another injury I missed. Check that out. There's so many I can't even keep track. But you got DeMarcus Walker, defensive end. He's out. He's out for this week as well, so that's good. Especially when you're already losing Draymond Jones, you're one of your top defensive ends. But anyways, I think it's a perfectly fair and reasonable, and really the only argument you can have when you're missing your starting running back that has been proven for the last 2 seasons, especially behind a horrendous offensive line, to be an amazing running back. 2 of your starting linebackers, and there's only 3 starting linebackers, one of which being the best player on the entire team and potentially in the league. Your top cornerback in A.J. Bouye, or a defensive back in general. Well, I guess Justin Simmons would be a argument there. He's a safety, though, so it's different. Your top receiver in Cortland Sutton, and potentially, like I said, have potential to be one of the best, if not the best receivers in the league. Your promising young starting quarterback is out. Your 2 of your starting defensive ends are out. 2 more receivers are out. 2 cornerbacks. Backup tight end, backup linebacker. So when you have all that out, I think you have more of a case to not use injuries as an excuse, use injuries as a reason. And I think that's more than valid and makes it very frustrating because, like I said, you can't even... Sorry, I got a hair up in here. You can't even make the realization, like, yeah, we suck, so better luck next year. You're just like, man, we potentially could be very good, but we literally don't know. And I know a lot of teams are missing players right now, and that's what everybody's saying. And some are missing just as high caliber players as like Von Miller. But the difference is most of those teams are missing one player. Like, I thought Von Miller being out would definitely hurt us this year, but I wasn't like, yep, season's over. You should have more depth and more than just that. But when you're missing majority of your starting team, then I think injuries are definitely a valid reason. And a lot of teams are missing players, and like I said, and some even star players. But it seems to be the Broncos and 49ers seem to be the ones with the worst luck with this, where they're literally missing at almost every position a top player, which is kind of unheard of. And all these injuries are obviously happening because this is much more than any. And like I said, this is unheard of this early in the year. They're obviously happening because they had no real offseason, no preseason at all, because this is not normal for this many injuries, not just the Broncos, but the entire league. But like I said, the Broncos and 49ers are the only teams to my knowledge, that have injuries like this, where it's just widespread on almost every position, having a starting player and depth players out. And people can say that's still excuses and that doesn't matter. But let's go over this for a second. So, say you're a Browns fan and you believe in all these players. Because I don't believe in all of them, and I can go over that in a second. But Drew Lock, he's out. He was out most of the last game and is going to be out 2 to 6 more weeks. So let's say Baker Mayfield's out, if you include last week, 2 to 7 weeks. Let's say Landry Jones. That's it. Is that his name? Am I high? Oh my God, that's a quarterback for the fucking Sooners, or was the quarterback. What is his name? Cody's gonna kill me, and I know it too. I'm kind of mad at myself. As soon as I see him, I'm like, yep, Jarvis Landry. God damn it. But let's say Jarvis Landry, he's out for the year. Let's say, and I'll go over these actually. So, Drew Lock out 2 to 7 weeks, they said, if you include last week. Say Baker Mayfield's out 2 to 7 weeks. Cortland Sutton's out for the year. Let's say Jarvis Landry, I almost did again, is out for the year. Von Miller out for the year. Let's say Myles Garrett is out for the year. A.J. Bouye, top cornerback, like I said, is out. Was out last week and is out till at least week 6. So he's missing at least 7 weeks. Let's say Denzel Ward is out at least 7 weeks. Philip Lindsay out last week out for at least a couple more weeks. So let's say you get a few weeks without Nick Chubb. And then you can just sprinkle in about 7 other injuries to depth players, which depth players matter a lot more when you're missing almost all your starters. So let's go see what that leaves the Browns with. I'm sure they'll be real competitive. So I should do this. Not roster. Depth chart. All right. So you got Baker Mayfield out for, I think we said 7 weeks. So Case Keenum's your new starter for 7 weeks. Nick Chubb is out for multiple weeks. So you got Kareem Hunt. And people are like, all right, well, Kareem Hunt's great. The Broncos have Melvin Gordon. So they both have 2 good running backs. So you're still missing a lot by missing one. And, well, I guess Odell Beckham would be the best receiver. So I guess should knock him out instead of Landry Jones. But, I mean, Jesus Christ, Jarvis Landry. But Jarvis Landry is better. But we'll just say Odell Beckham because everybody loves him. So he's out for the year. So you got Rashard Higgins. We love Rashard Higgins. Myles Garrett, he's out for the year. So you got Porter Gustin. That's your new defensive end there. And then, Denzel Ward, yeah, he's out. So you got Kevin Johnson. That's your new starting team. And then, I say you can sprinkle about 12 other depth injuries in there. So best of luck with that. And you can do that on almost every team. And you're going to get the same result. Because, yeah, you should have depth. And that is important. But when you're talking about missing a majority of the team, depth isn't your fault anymore. So everybody's saying you can't blame that. You need to pay more attention in football. And it fucking sucks, especially even with all that, the Broncos still almost beat the Steelers with fucking Jeff Driscoll. I'm trying to remember his name. I almost said Jack. But good old Jeff Driscoll, former on-again, off-again starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, usually off. And if anyone should have known him, it should have been the Steelers. Because being in the same division as the Bengals means they played him all the time. Because it can happen when you prepare for a certain quarterback that even if another quarterback comes in that's less talented, the defense isn't prepared for it and doesn't have much tape on him. But the Steelers over everyone should have known how to play against him and should have been able to kill the Broncos from that point. And I won't lie, people that know me say I'm too optimistic and that I am unrealistic with my teams and always think they're going to win, which I don't think is the case. I think, here's a couple things I think. We'll get to week 4 eventually, trust me, but we're about to play football, and right now I'm real fucking pissed at football. But I do think my opinions and me talking about sports and my teams in general can come off as optimistic. Because for one, I do think I am an optimistic person. I think a lot of people are negative. And then also, I think people do this weird thing where if they are a fan of a sports team, then they're afraid to just be honest and say if they're good or if they think they're going to be good, because then people will be like, oh, they're a homer, or they don't know how to judge it just because they're a team. You should be realistic. If you don't think your team's going to be good, you should say that, and I can do that. Like, I'm a Reds fan, and I say all the time, the past 5-6 years, I've had almost no hope. That doesn't make me any less of a Reds fan. I watch as many games as I can. I listen to a shitload of games. I go to a good amount of games when I could. And this year is the first year in 5 to 6 years I said that I think they could be good, and I had valid reasons to think that. And this year they've been better than they have in the last 6 years easily, and are fighting for a playoff spot right now, which is fucking unbelievable. But as soon as I said that, everybody's like, oh, you're saying it because you're a Reds fan. No, you not pay attention? I said for the last 5-6 years they are going to probably fucking suck, and they fucking sucked. I haven't liked them any less, but just because I like them doesn't mean I can't say positive things about it and make me unrealistic or a homer or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like that's what happens with Ohio State every year, is that people are so worried of people thinking that and so worried of being wrong if they lose that they just always fight against them. That's why for the past decade, every time the Ohio State-Michigan game comes up, people are like, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we can do it this time. Michigan's looking pretty good. Yeah, Ohio State's struggling a lot. They barely beat Penn State, and Michigan easily beat Penn State or whatever, list and list that goes on. And every year Ohio State beats them, and then I'm sure it's going to happen this year, even with the shortened season, everything weird. Everybody's going to be against Ohio State, even Ohio State fans, because people can't just judge things. You shouldn't be unrealistic. I am very optimistic, so I do think I lean that way as far as, like, a lot of times me and my friends will be watching games, and I'm like, it's not over yet, or we still have a chance. And most times I do believe that because I'm optimistic. I'm not being unrealistic. I think that. But I can give valid opinions, and that is all feeding into most years the Broncos aren't on paper going to be a terrible team. So most years I have hopes, I have questions, just like I did this year with my biggest question being offensive line, and we're seeing how that's turning out. And now our potential star quarterback is hurt, and I hope this isn't an injury that can kind of go throughout his career. But our offensive line has been fucking atrocious. The injuries I was worried about as the season got closer with getting those big injuries, that's just gotten worse. So there's things there, but the Broncos historically aren't a bad franchise, so it's hard to fight against them and think they'd be bad. It'd be kind of weird, kind of like thinking Ohio State's going to be bad. It's just kind of weird because they almost never lose, but for some reason people think that. But that's all feeding into when Drew Lock got hurt, and I saw that. I saw everything piling up. I was like, this is fucking over. Not just this game, but this season. And I'm not one of those people that overreacts as soon as something bad happens or we lose the game. Yep, season's over. And that's more so where I think my optimism comes in, and when I kind of get annoyed at people always shutting things down, because I think people do that. They overreact, and that's probably the main thing people do in sports that annoys me is overreaction and very reactionary to one win or one loss, and I try and stay more level-headed. And even with me being that way, though, I was like, we're fucking done. And then seeing Jeff Driscoll fight back, I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? The Steelers there's no way this should happen. But even then, I was like, that puts us in a better position, but I still don't have much hope because it wasn't this one game. And that's why I feel like people overreact if somebody gets a blowout win or blowout loss. They just react to that instead of judging the whole season. And I was like, even if we get this win, our starting quarterback is out multiple weeks. Our starting running back is out. Our best player on the entire team's out for the year. Our best wide receiver's out for the year. So fighting along is only going to get you so far. So I'm sad, but I have almost no hope for this year, which is fucking terrible to say as a Broncos fan, because like I said, on paper and historically, we're not bad. So I almost always have optimism to different degrees, higher and lower, but it's hard to have any right now. They just signed Blake Bortles as a quarterback. They say to back up Jeff Driscoll, but I don't think Jeff Driscoll can keep playing the way he was. If he can, that's great. I don't want him to play bad. I don't even got anything against him. I just think it's funny. But I don't think you sign a quarterback with that name and probably that much money just to be a backup. They could sign anybody on a practice squad. I think they're doing that because they know Jeff Driscoll might not be good enough and give themselves some fighting shot. And the normal overreaction sports thing happened. Everybody's like, Blake Bortles, are you kidding me? He couldn't even start for the Jaguars. His stats are this. But what they're ignoring is who the fuck else are you going to sign? There's nobody better than him. And you're not going to sign Colin Kaepernick because he's not as good. That's a whole nother debate we could get into, but no. So I don't know who else you're going to sign is better. And he had decent years and showed that he could throw the ball and be a solid quarterback. So I think it's a smart move. I don't think he's going to be the future. And he might not end up starting, and it might not be a game-changing thing, but if you're trying to win games and trying to stay in it, I think it makes complete sense. But like I said, I don't think you sign a player, not that he's making outrageous money, but he's a known name. So I think he's easily getting more money than some known name on a practice squad. So I feel like there's a reason they signed him. But we'll see what happens with it. It's also weird because I don't even... Well, for one, I don't want to really tank because the Broncos are so good, and it feel weird to have them tank. If they think they're going to tank, I don't know what they would do because I don't think it's clear that they need a quarterback like everybody's saying because the overreaction. Because Drew Lock's shown nothing but potential in the short time he's been there, behind the worst offensive line in the league. And with bad luck, he's not going to be able to show that. So I don't think that you tank for Lawrence. Also, fuck that guy. I do not want him as a Bronco. I don't care how talented he is. But even like somebody like Justin Fields, which I'm a Buckeyes fan, I think he has potential to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense for the Broncos to just keep this is like Browns territory to get all these quarterbacks that have so much talent and then not give them a chance. I feel like if that is the option, that you do that, and if it really is clear that Drew Lock isn't the answer, which I don't think you could tell by then, but if you could, take Justin Fields, and if not, you let somebody trade up a fucking stupid amount to, like the Jets, to get Trevor Lawrence and see how much of a piece of shit he is and get multiple first-round picks and upgrade positions around Drew Lock and make your team more solid and give him a real offensive line because you know you have a team that could potentially be good anyways. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I've always been a Broncos fan for as long as I can remember. I watch as many games as I can. I wish I could go to a game. Well, I've been to multiple games in Cincinnati and one in Cleveland, but I've never been to Denver. I listen to games. I'm always wearing my Broncos stuff, and that doesn't fluctuate based off of how much they're winning or losing. I wore just as much as I did the Super Bowl year, as much as I did the year we went 4-12 with Tim Tebow, because, well, I guess I mean, it's natural when the team's doing better to wear it more. I'm sure I was because I was excited, but I'm not like, oh, I don't want to wear this like a lot of people do. I was wearing it on all the normal times, but I guess it's natural when a team's doing better, especially when they're on a run like that, to wear it more and be more excited, which is definitely the case because, like, the Reds, I still wore my stuff throughout those 5-6 years, and I went to probably more games than ever, actually, which is odd for what I'm about to say because I feel like I was definitely just less excited. I'm like, I feel like I know what's going to happen, even though I still love them. But, yeah, so that's not going to change how I feel about them and my falling, just kind of killing my excitement because I know potential was there, and I don't feel like we're going to get to see it, which is a bummer, and I'm just not sure. So, there's a pregame for week 4 of our Madden franchise against the fucking Chargers. Look at that. So we'll go into our standings here. There I am, 2-1 against the with the Chargers. Oh, I could take the division lead if the Chiefs lose because we're all 2-1 in the Los Oakland Raiders are down there at 1-2. And then we got the Lions, Dolphins, and Panthers. Let's see where they're at. So we'll go by division. So what am I looking for? Yeah, the Dolphins, 2-1 as well. That's Trevor. sitting there tied with the Patriots. You got the Lions. That's right. Aaron at 2-1, trailing the 3-0 undefeated Bears. Look at that. And then the South, you got Derek 3-0 with the Panthers, and his division sucking it up. So that's not good news for all of us. But let's get into Week 4 here against the Chargers and the Broncos. Oh my God! If I could scroll to the right thing. But yeah, even with saying all that, like I said, I'll still root for him just as hard, even though I might be less excited. Like this week, we played the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, so I hope they fucking destroy him. I hope Jeff Driscoll throws for 8 touchdowns and 800 yards and no turnovers. I hope they... Oh my echo, just a second.
We are just moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Denver Broncos. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now...
All right, sorry about that. Didn't realize the TV volume was up. Probably blew out your eardrums. I hope they break Tom Brady's back, because fuck Tom Brady. And, yeah, I hope it goes real well.
A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Haha, the Browns lost 1-3. The retired Andrew Luck. What the hell? Why was it not a sack? Oh, and then they called roughing a passer, didn't they? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen them call that in Madden. Also, how did my dude miss a fucking sack? There's Von Miller. Out for the year. Connor for real. Damn.
Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down. First carry for Royce Freeman, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
Royce Freeman, Bronco. No.
Fighting him off, and he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Yo, this hair in my shirt is gonna drive me nuts.
Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the first quarter. Bounce it out to the outside to make it successful. And to get there, you actually need some...
No. Oh boy, that was terrible. That was all on me too. No excuses there. All right, but that dance can get the fuck out of here.
His guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. So they start this game just like they won. Opening drive touchdown, a nice run there to finish it off. Yeah, that's what we call an explosive run because of the distance. And being able to do that, that puts a little uncertainty in the minds of your opponent. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark. This is fielded at the goal line.
Why is every real Bronco I have on this team injured right now in real life? Every time someone touches the ball, I just get sad. This is supposed to take me out of it. This is fake football.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson stepping up. He's going to keep it.
Oh, shit. Lucky I didn't get injured or fumble.
Being tackled. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
Oh!
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver, Josh Reynolds. That'll bring up 2nd down. And let's look quickly here at the Denver offense.
And the schedule makers have given them a little break right here. Back-to-back home games and the last week. So they're trying to make it 2 in a row before they hit the road next week.
Bam, Ruggs.
Get in at the 5.
Look at that.
A huge play there for Denver. 51 yards. 1st and goal and a chance to get that initial touchdown. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Josh Reynolds. 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are on the board here in this 1st quarter. The touchdown all set up by the big
Oh. Look at that. Darius going, the Panthers going up against the Browns. The Bears, both 3-0. Battle undefeated. Somebody's going to lose it. Probably the Bears, but let's hope not. Oh, and Trevor's 2-1 Dolphins going against the 2-1 Patriots. So whoever wins that's going to take over the division lead. No! What is happening to my run defense? Oh, my God. Jesus. 5 carries for 97 yards. That is terrible. All right, let's try a blitz, see if we can stop him. That's a little better. Nice, solid tackle. Usually I miss those. Ooh, the Raiders 34-0 against Texans. Or Texans 34-0 against Raiders, I should say. Oh, left him wide open. No. Yikes. My defense is doing booty right now.
Chargers have taken the lead. And I think I saw that right. You tell me if I'm wrong. That was just a fly route, just to go. He went.
Sometimes speed, just pure speed, is going to win. I don't care how athletic.
If anybody is watching this right now or watch it later, comment. Let me know. Is there a better backup quarterback that's available that the Broncos could have gotten? And also, what is your opinion on the injuries? Do you think that is an excuse? Do you think that's valid? Do you think it's fucking nuts that we're already missing an entire starting team? What do you think? Ah, Jesus. Speaking of which, it looks like the Broncos offensive line. And Drew Lock's hurt. Also, what's with my teams and injuries? Like I said, I know people like to make injuries an excuse. I should not escape from that. That was a terrible decision on my part. But the Blue Jackets this last season, historical amount of injuries. Like literally the most in NHL history, and all to important players, not no-name players. The Broncos, or 2 weeks in a season, they're missing almost every starting player at almost every position. What is my luck? And I think I might be jinxing it, because I was telling a couple people that in week 1. I was like, what is with my teams and losing all their players? And then what happens this week? It just gets entirely worse. And that guy just destroyed me. I need to start sliding.
something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow.
Were you able, if you're watching this,
To take off.
to pre-order an Xbox Series X or S, or did you try to?
At the 26-yard line. Now Jackson.
Yikes, that dude said no, no.
Away. It's incomplete. He was looking for Josh Reynolds that time, but it's going to be second down. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing is Jackson. Flushed out right.
Yeah, yeah.
Out there on the escape and scramble, a first down, a 16-yard gain. Now Jackson on first down. Eluding the pressure right.
Oh, shit, that was dumb. I had so many chances there.
Scramble, it's second down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally,
All right, we're going to Watkins in the middle there. He's going to be open.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and
Whoa, late hit, bro. Unnecessary roughness. And then that dude just put his foot through my entire fucking chest somehow. I thought I was streaming Madden, not Alien.
extra point away now from tying this football game. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see, right?
Let's just slut.
section in their playbook called the quick
Oh, he is jacked. Look at him.
super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
This will be a fun game to watch. 14-14. About to go in the second half.
Drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it.
Besides, if I was watching as a Broncos fan, I'd be so mad at the defense. That's another thing about the Broncos. The defense has played exceptional for missing their best defense player, their best cornerback, a lot of other depth players. And I feel like they're not getting enough credit for that because people are just seeing they're losing and giving up not even a lot, but a decent amount of points. But what they're ignoring is for how long they're containing the opposing offenses and how much they have to be on the field because the Broncos offense is struggling and giving the ball over so much. That I think if the offense is even playing decent, they could be a real scary team, which, unlike this defense, Jesus Christ, which makes it worse, like I said, because it shows that we're not really seeing the real team, unfortunately, and what they could be. Also, speaking of jinxes, so one of my bosses at work, 3 weeks before the season started, was like, hey, you hear what happened to Von Miller during practice? And I was like, no. Yeah, he blew out his knee. He's going to miss the whole year. And I was like, are you serious? Yeah, they just posted. You didn't see it? And I was like, no. Nah, I'm just messing with you. And I was like, oh, my God, don't scare me like that. A week and a half later, Derek, the bearded guy on Twitch, asked me if I heard about Von Miller. So what do? Of course I assume it's a joke. I already fell for this once. He's like, yeah, they think it's going to be season ending. And I'm like, you're joking with me right now. And he's like, no, dude, you know I wouldn't joke with that. And, of course, it was real. I couldn't handle it. I've been messed with too much. And then Ezekiel Elliott right there is a worthless piece of shit and doesn't know how to block at all. He doesn't even know how to run the fucking team. Let's see if he can catch at least. He can, but then he just steps out of bounds for no reason. Yeah, he's used to that. There's open receivers there, too. I love running too much. I should have thrown it. What the fuck? What was that? The hell is even that?
No, not on 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over.
Oh, damn it. He was so open.
And he's going to be driven down. They'll get to the line here, but
Waited too long.
third down. From the gun on third down, Jackson. And this is caught by Watkins.
Got lucky that dude broke off as soon as I threw that. Oh, that's a pick. All right, let's see if I can make it 21-21 going into the half. I get the ball at halftime, so that'd be big. Ah, damn it, overthrew him.
Incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. To throw again, Jackson. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. To throw again is Jackson. This is caught. Watkins.
Oh, boy.
Get there. Tackled down at the 1.
If that's the smart thing to be, take a field goal. But fuck that.
Remaining in the second quarter. A bit of a surprise. They're going.
Oh, I don't like how many people are crowding
No sign of the
the line right now. This is scary.
final play of the half here. It's Jackson.
Yeah!
Broncos. Big decision there. They say forget the field goal and go for it. It pays off.
Uh-oh, did I miss it? Oh, okay. I sure did. I was proud of myself, too.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight.
Why do the announcers suck so much dick?
Started for the second half. It was an
It gets worse every Madden.
tied on the scoreboard.
Well, it's been about the same for, what, the past 4 years? How long have these clowns been in here?
Extra yards up
But it seems worse because they have like 20 new sayings and then the rest is just the same shit.
here as he'll have it first to begin.
And the commentators just get worse and worse. I remember every time they changed it, the reviews are like, yeah, it's a much needed change. That was a horrendous pass. Just because different doesn't mean it's better. And this has definitely gotten worse. I know John Madden was a clown. And that is pretty much an improvement over anything improvement over John Madden. Which is funny because this is his game. But on the other end, you had Al Michaels. You're trying to tell me these guys are better than Al Michaels? No, sir. No, sir.
Now it's Jackson.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
How do I reach these kids?
Say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care
Bam, throwing across my body, just like they teach you in the NFL.
He's inside the 40.
All right, let's give Ezekiel another chance.
The Chargers' 38-yard line. A first down carry.
Oh, look at that. That's like a season-long run for him there.
30, almost to the 25.
Can you do it 2 times in a row?
And a Bronco first down. They keep on it.
No, he can't.
Chris Jones on the stop. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
All right. Let's see if Hardman's open over there.
Here's Jackson.
He is. Bam.
This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That puts them in excellent position. 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
All right. Let's see it, Noah Fant.
Halftime to try to slow down this offense. It has not worked to this point.
Bam.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver.
Lamar Jackson looked like his
On the year.
should have been MVP season last year finally. He was struggling there for a bit.
Reliable target. They like to get him involved. They
Uh-oh.
score.
And they should. He's a very good
That one should have been missed too. I don't know what's going on here. I'll take it, but I'm confused.
and he usually comes through for them.
Looks good on the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. That's field fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good
Oh, user pick. That was beautiful.
Looking for Ingram. Picked off near the 44.
He wasn't very lucky there.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a
What's funny about that?
definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Oh, kind of hung him out to dry there.
Winds up to be incomplete.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker because
Good analysis, partner.
you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
Damn, even better analysis. These dudes are on it. All we're missing is John Madden to come in and start drawing cock and balls all over the screen and be, oh, I didn't mean to. I love Brett Favre, though. Hey, did I mention I love Brett Favre?
Escaping the pressure right. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
By the way, where the hell has John Madden been? Let me Google that he's not dead, because that would be a little awkward, and I feel like I would have remembered that. But I just Googled Google to look up John Madden. True story. How does his name not come up when you put John M into Google? How does it not autofill? Okay, he's still alive, 84. But where the hell has he been? I know he retired from broadcasting, but names that big, they still reappear or hear about. I don't know the last time I fucking heard John Madden. I feel like majority of people play Madden now probably have no fucking idea that's a person. I don't know how they could now.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's second and goal. Jackson now.
That's a bad pass.
At it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. Third and goal.
Touchdown.
And this is caught by Watkins for a Denver touchdown. Sammy Watkins, his second touchdown.
He's losing his damn mind.
Broncos push further out in front. A good sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
The kickoff is on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
All right, let's see if I can stop him 2 drives in a row. They were dominating me before that last drive.
Interceptions, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it.
They laugh at the dumbest shit that's not funny at all.
A one-play drive where you throw an interception.
I know announcers are dumb in real life, but they take it to a whole new level. And these are real football announcers. Like, they announce actual games. They're not just like Madden announcers, but they amplify it somehow.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll try and run forward.
Yeah, nice.
He stops short of the first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll be a call to the punt team as it's fourth down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Damn. Still good return, though.
Return there, give him an even 20 yards. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Now Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. He's going to
Oh, nice.
inside the 30. And all the way down
To end the quarter, too. Not bad. All right. Let's give Ezekiel another chance.
Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth. So
Let's play a game of will it gain more than 3 yards? I'm going to say no, but I'm going to try my best.
draw play, Elliott.
Oh, it might be one.
Break
2 yards. Look at him go.
2 yards at a time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play. From the 24, Jackson. He'll have a first down inside the 10. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain. Jackson. A dump off to Elliott.
That was real awkward.
Inside the 5 at the 4. He'll get only 2 there, and it's second and goal. Throwing again on second down. Jackson. He's got it. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They get only a yard there. Now it's third and goal. Jackson now. Gonna throw on third and goal. And this is
Oh, look, he's riding the horse. What a Bronco.
Josh Reynolds with his second touchdown of the night. And the Broncos push forward in front. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one?
Yeah, I fucking hate the Chargers.
Some revenge, or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes?
The other thing that hits me is, have the Chargers had a home game yet? Did they play? Let's look here.
And they're coming off a 3 and out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked somewhere else, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Okay, so their last game
This leads to second and
against Kansas City was a home game. So I need to look at the highlights. I know there was no in-person attendance, especially in LA, because they care about everything. They care about the environment. That's why they had the worst environment in the country, and it's always terrible. They care about the virus. That's why they've had the worst amount of cases in the country. They really care about everything in California. But another thing they don't care about is the fucking Chargers, because anybody that's watched the Chargers knows that when they have a home game, it's essentially a home game for whatever team they're playing, especially teams like the Broncos that draw well and travel well. So they said to try and make the pumped-in sound realistic. So was it? Was the away team, were the fans louder? Were they, when the Chargers scored a touchdown, were people booing? Because it should be true to life, so that's how it should be. And that's not even just an LA thing. People like to say that and how the Chargers shouldn't have moved there, which they shouldn't have, but they staying in San Diego wasn't much better. The same thing happened there. I think people have some kind of crazy, what is happening? How does he have this much time? Some people have some crazy memory loss or something, because I always remember making that joke because my brother is a Chargers fan. And whenever the Broncos played there, it was just a home game, and it was hilarious. So the same thing happened in San Diego. The only difference is there was more people there, but that's because the stadium was bigger, and it was like only millions of dollars to go instead of billions like it is in LA. Because that's another thing California does so well, is everything costs 10 times more than it should. But if anything, Chargers should have moved somewhere completely different, like Oklahoma City, Columbus, St. Louis. Not another city that doesn't care about it. Oh, you shitting me? What has happened to their offense? This is nuts.
He caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a
Whoop, that was real awkward.
catches. It may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Another incomplete pass minutes there. What do you take from this game offensively?
Well, you know it's tough to really analyze for them because it is a team game, right? And let's be honest, though. The
Yeah.
defense showed no favors in this one at
Yikes.
all. Offense actually moved the ball. So
Not as good as my first return.
defense is going to be a real tough one for them.
If I gain more points, I'll put a 50 spot on them.
So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here. 1st and 10. And an alley to run. A nifty bit of scrambling there.
Look at that, 150 rushing for Lamar Jackson.
Totally home
Woo!
but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. The throw over the middle, taken in. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards on the play. To throw is Jackson. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to
I didn't even know that.
stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's
That might sound sarcastic, and usually I am when I say stuff like that in here, but I actually didn't know that.
by the end of the play.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it.
Get open.
Leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
All right, let's see if Noah Fant can get a second of the game. Touchdown. Right on the O. Another unnecessary roughness, but whatever.
It's another touchdown.
I think I know who's getting Offensive Player of the Week. Lamar Jackson.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Stop screaming, Andrew.
Now a first down throw. Lock.
Bam.
Nowhere to escape. And
They're just fucking falling apart. You're not even calling timeout. They're just like, this game's over. And they're right. Go Broncos.
18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
He's like, man, the fuck.
Big offensive explosion help leading them to
Oh, look at that ass. Nice camera angle, dude.
They're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It
Oh my
makes
god,
them
I'm trying to
feel
skip
that
as fast as I can so I don't have to hear these fucking clowns.
allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Broncos, they're on a nice early run.
Woo, look at Jackson's stats, buddy.
And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile,
Why do you say Jaguars like that?
fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they will try to get
Oh, he looks sad. Probably 'cause he's a douche. All right. All right. So before I get off here, maybe I'll try and update my fantasy and pick'em leagues as I stream on here. So I'm in 3 fantasy leagues this year. I'm in this one every year with my friends and family members. That one I am 1-1. I'm in 2 at my work. 1 is unpaid. I'm 0-2 in that league. But more importantly, in a paid league, I'm 2-0. So there's that. Then the pick'em league I mentioned is another thing I do with a group of friends. You pick every game every week in the NFL. And it's just like standings in real NFL. However many points wins you got is how many points you get for the standings. So I have 21 through 2 weeks, which doesn't sound bad. And isn't horrendous because the top has 25. But the crazy part is the top is obviously number 1 at 25. And only 4 less at 21 puts me tied for 14th. So not much wiggle room there. But I'm going to make my pick live on air, which could backfire because you don't know somebody's picks until the games start. So somebody might steal my tactics because, I'm an expert. So let's run through it here. Week 3. Got the Dolphins and the Jaguars. I'm going to go Jaguars. The Dolphins have looked better than I thought they would, but they're 0-2 and still they're the Dolphins. The Jaguars have been inconsistent, but shown they can be very good. The Falcons and the Bears. So I actually picked the Bears first 2 weeks, and they're 2-0, so I'm right. I picked the Falcons. They're 0-2. I picked them in week 2, not week 1, so I was wrong one time. But I'm going to go for an upset pick here. I'm going to pick the Falcons. I feel like everybody's going to pick the Bears now, even though it was reversed. We got a matchup of undefeated, the Rams and the Bills. I'm going to go Rams. I think a lot of people are going to do the Bills because they've been surprising people. We got matchups of the winless now with the Bengals and the Eagles. I picked the Bengals first 2 weeks, and I truly believe they could have won both those. And they could have and maybe even should have. But I can't do it again. We're picking the Eagles. And then we have a football team versus Browns. I didn't think it was possible to have a worse team than the Browns, but football team is it. That's just fucking unbelievable. I know it's because they had to get rid of the Redskins. I hope I don't get banned. And they didn't have much time to actually put something together, but that is fucking atrocious. And I was thinking, because I naturally still say Redskins, what's going to happen if you accidentally say that, or like a broadcaster does? The Washington Redskins football team. Is it going to be like the top trending thing on Twitter and people are going to be like, oh, he intentionally said it. He's fucking racist. He's sexist. Because I say it without even thinking. I don't even do it to prove a point or to be traditional or whatever. It's just fucking habit. I can't imagine if that was my career to talk about football and I was just kind of ingrained to say that. Because I don't get paid and my mind doesn't say that, and it certainly doesn't gravitate towards football team. Say a fucking SNL skit or something. But I wonder how fast that's going to happen, especially if there's going to be any time, like, years from now, maybe could be like, okay, how do you not know it, even though football team's not going to be their name, so next year they're going to have another different name. So, there has to be a decent amount of time to give till it's okay to slip up on that. It should always be okay because it's a slip up, or even if it's not really, I think it should be fine because I don't know if everybody's forgetting when they didn't actually change their name to the Redskins and everybody just started calling them Washington or the Skins, as in like announcers. They just didn't call them by their team name, even though that's legally and officially what they were called. They just didn't call them that. So that should have been an issue, but it's not because they're not racist and they care. But, I just wonder how fast it's going to backfire and how fast we're going to overreact when you say something that you've said your entire life and everyone was okay with till somewhat recently. But in saying that, I'm going to pick the football team because fuck the Browns, and I do think the Redskins will actually win. They play better than... See, Jesus Christ, I just did it. I think the football team will win. That just sounds like I'm an idiot and I'm being stupid. Like, oh, the football team, because they're both football teams. But I'm talking about the football team, not football team. I think the football team will win because they looked better than I thought they would. I think the Browns are going to be terrible. I think last week people overreacted because the Bengals don't have a good defense, and even then the Browns almost lost it. So I think we're doing a normal overreaction thing. Week 1, everybody's like, get rid of fucking Baker Mayfield, get rid of trade Odell Beckham Jr., this thing's falling apart. And then when everybody's like, oh, yep, the Browns Super Bowl. But I think in all reality, they're still not very good. So then we got the 2-0 Titans versus the 0-2 Vikings. I'm picking the Titans, 9 just because they're 2-0 and the other's 0-2. But because I've hit the Vikings twice in a row and they've let me down both times. So go Titans. The next one, you have the Las Vegas Raiders. I know they're Las Vegas, and that's why I call them Las Oakland. Because that's a team, as much as I hate the Raiders, should still be in Oakland. I'm going to go with the Patriots. They're 1-1, going against the undefeated. How is this possible? 2-0 Raiders. I think that will end. You got the 1-1 49ers and the 0-2 Giants. This is where I normally go 49ers, especially the Giants being worst record. But they said 49ers are one of the other teams besides Broncos I think are fucking just depleted with injuries. So we're going to go Giants. Not confident, but that's what I'm going with. And they got the 2-0 Steelers versus the 0-2 Texans. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think the Texans definitely have a shot. I would not be shocked at all if they win. I know it doesn't seem like it because they're 0-2 versus 2-0, but I wouldn't be shocked at all. The Broncos almost beat the Steelers with Jeff Driscoll. I think the Texans are better than they've looked. And I definitely hope the Texans win because I like them more than the Steelers. They have the 1-1 Colts against the 0-2 Jets. We're going Colts because the Jets are a fucking train wreck. The 0-2 Panthers versus the 1-1 Chargers. I picked the Panthers 2 weeks in a row. They've let me down both times. I hate the Chargers, but I'm picking the Chargers. That might backfire, but that's what I believe. The 1-1 Cowboys, their humongous comeback against the Falcons, which I picked the Falcons last week, so that's depressing. And almost everybody else picked the Cowboys, so it hurt even more because I thought I had a win in my books and a big advantage. Against the 2-0 Seahawks, picking the Seahawks, picked them first 2 weeks, see if I can have 3 in a row. You got the 1-1 Buccaneers against the 0-2 Broncos. Depleted, and you got fucking Tom Brady on the other side. I'm picking the Broncos, and I do think they have a shot. I think they have the same issue as the 49ers. They're depleted. But here's my theory on the Broncos. I don't think they're going to win every week because if I don't address this, it's going to sound completely hypocritical from what I said earlier. My theory and idea going into picking with the Broncos is that I pick them every single week, not because I think they'll win, but because I just don't want to have that debate every week of like, man, is this a week they're going to lose? Because generally I feel like they could win most games. So I just don't want to go through a hassle. I'm like, at worst, I go 0-16, and the Broncos are more than likely not going to go 0-16, and most years going to have a decent record. So I'm okay picking that. And then every other game I try and judge fairly. Like I said, I picked the Chargers, I picked the Chiefs the first 2 weeks. So I don't just pick every team I like and pick against the teams I dislike. But with that one, I just do it to avoid all the hassle. You got the 0-2 Lions going against the 2-0 Cardinals. The Lions are definitely better than have played better record than their record shows. But the Cardinals are probably my most surprised team so far. Still early, I know. Probably the reaction is they're the new Super Bowl hot team, whatever, but I just think they're a surprising team, so I went with them over the Lions. 2-0 Packers versus the 1-1 Saints. I can't believe the Saints lost to the Raiders last week. I picked the Packers both games before this, so we'll stick with it, see if they can go 3-0. Then you have, for most people, the biggest game of the week, the 2-0 Chiefs versus the 2-0 Ravens. So Mahomes versus Jackson. Go Jackson because I have him in fantasy. And I think the Ravens are going to win. I think everybody is probably going to pick the Chiefs in this one because they won the Super Bowl. They're a hot team. Everybody loves them. I feel like the Ravens somehow still don't get enough credit on and off, even though I hate the Ravens. And the Chiefs struggle against the Chargers. I feel like the Ravens got this one. So that's my picks. I was going to say we'll see how it went next week, but I guess it depends when I do another stream here on Madden, which might not be till after that week or multiple weeks. Who knows? It just depends on when all these guys play their game and then when I get to my game next time. But thanks for watching. Definitely comment anything you'd like this video, subscribe if you will, turn on notifications so you know when I'm streaming, which hopefully I can keep saying it. I could do it on and off, but hopefully I can get more into it and hopefully get to the point where I have a schedule or something and get back to Alien before I get everything. But thanks for watching.